Imagine this. It's Ireland and it's the 1700s, and butter wasn't just a food, it was power, money, and sometimes even crime. Barrels of Irish butter was shipped across oceans, feeding sailors, armies, and cities all over the world. But behind the golden reputation of Irish butter was a dark story of fraud, smuggling, and the world's biggest food scandal in history. In the 18th and 19th centuries in Ireland, and especially in Cork, it became the butter capital of the world. The Cork Butter Exchange controlled both prices and quality, turning butter into Ireland's biggest export. Ships carried it to Caribbean, the Americas, and even as far as India. For poor farmers, butter was survival, and for merchants, it was wealth. But when so much wealth is involved, someone's always looking to cheat the system. The butter was packed in barrels called firkins, and this is where the cheating began. Dishonest traders would fill it with straw, stones, garbage, and then they would just put fresh butter, the quality stuff, on the bottom and the top. To inspectors peeking inside, it looked perfect. But once those barrels traveled overseas, the truth was revealed. Customers would crack open the firkins only to discover the garbage, but at that point, the merchants had already been paid. To stop fraud, the Butter Exchange hired graders that would smell, taste, and certify every barrel. But of course, corruption was everywhere. Some graders were accepting bribes to pass off bad butter or the garbage as premium butter. Smugglers would often find ways to even just kind of circumvent the inspections altogether. They'd sneak the barrels out of Cork and sell them tax-free in the black market. The butter trade was so shady that it became legendary for the scandals. Because the butter was practically liquid gold, the smuggling exploded everywhere. Farmers would sell their butter secretly so they could dodge the taxes, and merchants would run whole black market operations. They'd ship the butter out of the country without ever going through the exchange. There were stories of butter being hidden under the hay in wagons or even swapped at the dead of night. Some smugglers made fortunes, while others were caught and ruined overnight. The newspapers of the day were full of reports of butter frauds, furious buyers, and scandalous court cases. But even with all that fraud, the Cork Butter Exchange continued to thrive. At its height, over 500,000 barrels of butter were leaving Ireland every year. But all things come to an end, and by the late 1800s, refrigeration, steamships, and new dairy industries in places like New Zealand and Denmark ended Ireland's monopoly on the butter trade. The scandals faded, and the Butter Exchange eventually closed in the 20th century. Today, it's a museum in Cork where you can learn about the days when butter was Ireland's gold. So the next time you spread butter on toast, think about this. In Ireland's past, that creamy spread fueled fortunes, corruption, and the juiciest food scandals in history has ever seen. This makes me love butter even more. My favorite is to have butter with salt. Do you have a favorite butter type? Are you brand loyal? Is it the Kerrygold from Ireland? Still, let me know what you think about butter.